Okay, so Ian, I suppose looking back since the season began, how are you finding it back in the Premier Division? I suppose it's a really exciting time for Shelbourne Football Club.
Yeah, it's fantastic for the club back in the Premier Division. I think where everyone wanted to be, and fans want to go and watch you play against Premier Division teams and watch you play against the best. And look, we've had a half decent start in our first 3 games, and looking to build on it again tomorrow night.
And I suppose, like, going back as early as the first game against Cork, and the sheer amount of fans that had travelled down to see you guys, and the eruptions of celebrations and videos that had come up that somebody's wedding was interrupted by somebody showing them that you had scored against them late on. I mean, that comes to show I suppose the level of excitement, having been in the First Division for so long, that you finally managed to get there and back up into the Premier, and that obviously the intention is that you're going to stay there. Yeah,
that's the goal. You can see, like you mentioned, the away fans down in Cork, and then we backed that up with 2 sellouts in Tolka. So the appetite is definitely there, but both on and off the pitch. And like I said, the more fans, I think we've sold out again our away allocation for Dalymount as well. So it's been brilliant, and the noise I think that the fans have given has been a massive driver for the players, and it's a real bond between them.
You've had a Dublin derby under your belt already so far this season against St Patrick's Athletic. How much do you think that'll sort of help you ease into this week and another derby?
I think it builds confidence and it builds momentum. With the 3 games we've had, I think us coming back up and players are getting themselves back in the mind frame in Premier Division football, and having the results and the performances, more importantly, that we've had, it gives confidence, and it breeds confidence, and it gives us that belief going into every game that we can win.
And from your point of view as manager, I mean, has there there's probably minor things here and there that have changed, but is there anything sort of major that's changed in terms of, I don't know, maybe approach or anything like that into how you approach this new division?
I think your preparation and your detail are key. You have to be really switched on your match analysis of your opposition, the content you're giving the players. That all has to be on point. And luckily I've got some fantastic staff in with me as well that really do help and really do give that to me and give it to the players. So that's been key for us this season.
Reigniting, I suppose, a rivalry against Bohemians will be obviously top of the order this week in the league. Last season there was the disappointment, obviously, for you guys in terms of losing in the FAI Cup. Has that been spoken about at all this week, or is it just forget about it and get to Dalymount?
No, I think that was last season, and although we lost that game, it gave us massive confidence coming out of it that yes, you can go to Dalymount, you can go 2-0 up, and then it's just rectifying kind of the manner that the goals were conceded in. So that's all been looked at, but we've got to approach this as if it's any other game. Tomorrow night there'll be no massive emphasis on trying to get the players motivated. That's going to be there from the get-go, and it's just controlling that and make sure we're our high intensity and our pressure and our approach to the game is correct.
And I suppose it was a freak ending to that game last year, as you mentioned, having been 2-0 up and right at the end. And I remember being there covering the game, and the Bohs fans were leaving in their droves, and all of a sudden they come back in and win it. I suppose it's really having the mentality to play to that very last second of the game, playing to that whistle.
It is, yeah. Having 11 players on the pitch helps as well, so that'll be something that will be addressed for tomorrow night.
And I suppose then, the fixtures, they come, thick and fast for you guys. You'll have to go to Shamrock Rovers, Cork City. You have a game at home there in Tolka Park. Like they are coming fairly ferocious to you, and I suppose what managers over the years, have been against all of these, kind of Friday, Monday games, and then you'll have games in the EA Sports Cup and FAI Cup, and they all come pretty clustered. And it doesn't really help in the fact that I suppose this year I don't know, maybe people expected something different with the Euros happening this summer, but the FAI really didn't take that into consideration when the fixtures were drawn up. But that's the challenge really for you this year is sort of maintaining that, where it wasn't really as much to the fore in the first division. Am I right in saying, or am I?
Yeah, the games are. I think you've 11 less league games, so the toll and the load on the players is a lot more, and the intensity of the games, the tempo of the games is a lot higher. So recovery and preparation is massive, and like us, we're not a full-time team or club, so we have to make sure our preparation and the players that are going into work the next day, we have to monitor our loads and make sure our recovery and our communication is really good. So that's lucky enough we have a fantastic medical and fitness team that oversee all that.
And you look at, okay, fine, you're playing Bohs this week in Dalymount, but taking what they have done as a club over the last couple of years, they've gone from nearly financial ruin up to a position where they're going to be competing in Europe this year.
Yep.
Behind, like, obviously you've had to do it, you've had to build something from the first division and bring it all the way up. Does it give you that sort of confidence? And you mentioned it there that, you know, you're not a full-time team like Shamrock Rovers, who, you know, maybe have a little bit more to kind of, you know, throw around or whatever, but that being a part-time club and looking at how other part-time clubs have done it, that probably give you confidence that maybe there's a European spot in Shelburne this year.
100%, and that's the focus that we have to look, and that's what we have to aspire to try and do, is to get yourself in a position where you're trying to compete. It's difficult for players to try finish a full week's work and then try train and play, but look, that's not a complaint either. That's just reality. You either have to do it or else you don't play. It's as simple as that. It's just finding the right balance and the right way of recovering and preparing and making sure your loads are right. So it's not a complaint. We just have to roll our sleeves up and dig in, and we'll get the rewards in the end. And
then in terms of bodies then for this week, how are you? Are you any injuries or any worries for you? Or
we've Dan O'Byrne won't be available for selection. We've Kieran Conduff and Luke Bourne are back fully fit, no problems there, and then we have a fitness test with Jays. So that's all that might affect team selection.
Absolutely, and I suppose that, like, you know, you're 4 games in at this point with 2 wins and 2 losses, whatever. But you know, this is early days in a really long season.
Very much so. We've only played 3 games. We've won 2 and lost 1. So I think there's 96 points still to play in the league. So to be thrown out any comment on what way things are going to end up would be a little bit premature at the minute.